Objective: answering undetermined Hollow Knight lore. Obstacle: when traveling throughout Hollownest, you may end up meeting three very similar looking brothers, Nailmasters Mato, Oro, and Sheo. Each brother will teach the player a different nail art useful for traversing the Dead Kingdom. However, conversation with the three reveals a very ambiguous tension between Mato and Oro. Something in these two's past made them estranged. Today, we're figuring out what. Usually, I'd use a visual cue to indicate speculation, but just for today, assume it's in use if I'm not quoting dialogue or recounting in-game events. So I've already told you who the Nailmasters are, but where they are is just as important. Right now, we don't gotta worry about Sheo. He's more of an ex-Nailmaster, doing his own thing in Green Path, painting and sculpting and whatnot. But Oro and Mato, in their own ways, continue to be Nailmasters. Oro hid himself in what he thinks is the world's end, Kingdom's Edge, and is both surprised and disgruntled at the knight discovering him. Oro's motives for hiding himself are not entirely clear, but what is known is his verbal distaste of Mato, who resides at the top of Howling Cliffs. Unlike Oro, who charges a pretty piece of geo for learning dash slash, Mato is much more amenable in teaching the knight the way of the nail, and is even so forward to thinking it his own child. In later dialogue, Mato clearly states he plans to train in his sanctuary until he's truly mastered the Nail Sage's teachings, which really shows his dedication to the craft. But what do they say behind each other's backs?
That nail art, the dash slash, learned from my brother Oro, was it not? So he's still alive then? I still haven't forgotten what he owes me, and I never will. I'm sorry. I shouldn't bother you with such things. I'm happy that you were able to train under another Nailmaster and grow stronger, my pupil.
That nail art. You have been training with my brother Mato. He has strange notions of loyalty and honor. I'm sure he was difficult and unpleasant to train under. Did he mention my name to you? If he does, tell him to be patient. He'll be waiting a while longer before I give him what he wants.
A very important character I've yet to mention is Sly, aka the Great Nail Sage, who trained the three Nailmasters. You first meet him all hazed out in Forgotten Crossroads, where you overhear him mumble, "Esmy, how much deeper do we have to go?" Some have theorized Esmy is, or is somehow connected to, the training dummy outside of Oro's sanctuary, whether because it wears Nailmaster clothing, or maybe the fact its dream nail dialogue is, "Stronger, brothers." This husk catches the attention of every theorist who passes it, leading many to conclude Oro killed Esmy, hid the body, then ran away once confronted by Mato. So what evidence proves this is indeed Esmy? As for conclusive evidence, during a Reddit AMA by Hollow Knight game developer William Pellin, someone asked who Esmy is. The response? They are someone that still lingers in Sly's dreams. And that's it. We got this line from Sly, we got this Reddit post, and sorry to say, but that's not enough evidence to conclude Esmy's even closely connected to the training dummy. So final verdict, I declare thee irrelevant. Be gone.
Oh, but CC, how do we know for sure the training dummy should be ignored?
I literally just said why. What are you talking about?
But it's wearing Nailmaster clothing, couldn't that mean there's a fourth Nailmaster or brother?
No, Fine then. The husk itself is a great hopper, so it can't be related by blood to anyone important. Since all three brothers wear the exact same clothing, the training dummy could just be wearing an extra pair of Oros. If Oro indeed killed Esmy, why does the husk dream nail dialogue say brothers, plural? That wouldn't make sense, unless Sheo was involved, who by all accounts is a bystander. And finally, Esmy's name does not end with an O, which is important because Mato, Oro, and Sheo's names do. Wait, you're not rewritten. In truth, not enough information is provided by Team Cherry to reach a solid answer in this mystery. However, inferred speculation can get us places. This type of theorization uses in-game evidence as the backbone of its speculation. So though not completely definitive, it serves as a much better alternative to pulling guesses out of thin air. Like with Esmy. Through inferred speculation, I shall create a cohesive branching pathway meant to present every plausible answer and dead end in solving this brotherly conflict. Let's begin.
Brother Mato, in your lonely home at the top of the world, do you still think of me as an enemy? In the future, if you will listen, I will tell you why I chose to tread this path.
Many key takeaways, but there are 3 I'd like to shed light on. Number 1. Mato saw Oro his enemy after they last talked. Number 2. Mato will not listen to Oro's reasoning for what he did wrong. And most importantly, number 3. Whatever Oro did, it may have to do with his chosen path in life. If this indeed caused conflict between his brother, then does Oro consider the path he treads a literal chain of events, or a metaphorical way of life? Heading back over to Sheo's hut, with Oro's / obtained, you unlock the following dialogue.
So, you've met my brother Oro and convinced him to teach you his nail art. It's been a long time since I've seen him. I wonder how much he's changed. He always seemed to be haunted by something, though I never learned what. No matter the distance between us though, we are still brothers. I hope that passing down his learnings to you brought him some happiness.
When I first read this line, I assumed Sheo was talking about how Oro is haunted by whatever he did to Mato. But Sheo used the word always, which insinuates Oro acted this way for a very large portion of their time spent together. If this is true, it's possible Oro is actually haunted by a misdeed done behind his brother's back early in life. But does Sheo's dream nail dialogue back this up?
My brother Oro, what drove you to hide away, deep down at the very edge of that ash-swept grave? Was it pride? Or fear? Or shame? Perhaps you should lay down your nail if it haunts you so, and find a new calling that eases your soul.
Most likely, Oro isolated himself because of an action he committed. But for whatever reason, Sheo guesses an emotion led Oro. Pride, fear, or shame. For what reason would Sheo guess an emotion, unless of course, Sheo knows what would have caused that emotion, aka knows what happened between Mato and Oro. So is he just lying to us here? It's doubtful, since Sheo shows no inclination to lie. Instead, it's possible Sheo actually made this guess based on Oro's haunted state of being. Though Sheo doesn't know what exactly haunts his brother, he does know it's been affecting him his entire life. After finding out Oro's isolated himself in Kingdom's Edge, even without knowing exactly why, Sheo may have come to the conclusion the haunting led Oro down this path. This is also proven with Sheo's second guess.
Perhaps you should lay down your nail if it haunts you so.
Repeat, if it haunts you so, further solidifying Sheo's lack of specifics. So, if Sheo really does know what happened between his two brothers, because Sheo acts as a bystander and shows no hatred to any party, whatever happened most likely occurred shortly before the 3 departed from one another, and only affects Mato. However, if indeed Oro is haunted by a misdeed in his past, and indeed Sheo knows not what haunts Oro, it's possible that knowing the truth would lead Sheo to side with Mato in the conflict. And if that's the case, Oro's path is most likely a literal string of events. Hey gamers, quick unsponsored advertisement. You've been hearing in the background some really good HK-esque music. That's because of this guy, Matt. He makes these amazing Hollow Knight and Silksong synthwave remixes. His stuff gives off major cyberpunk vibes, so if that's your forte, you need to check out his channel and subscribe. I'll have a reminder in the outro, but you can find his songs in the description or the top right corner of your screen. Also, pretty much a given, but if you're enjoying my lore video, do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Next big Hollow Knight lore video is June 10th, so you don't want to miss it. Alright, back to the video. So what sins did Oro commit? Steal Mato's Nailmaster glory charm? Kill a grub? Call Hornet Void? In truth, no idea. So a bit of a dead end here. However, Oro's path could still be metaphorical. A moral compass he follows, for example. Best guess? Oro lives his life as a lone wolf. He is cold towards the night, both in conversation and when teaching his nail art. When fighting in Godhelm, he thinks to himself,
My path is mine alone.
And
whatever it takes, I'll prove myself.
Further solidifying he'd rather get things done by himself. Even when gifting him a delicate flower, Oro will respond by threatening to throw it away if left with him. However, what's on the outside definitely does not reflect the inside. In his real-world thoughts, Oro wants his brother to listen to him, and also asks if Mato still thinks of him an enemy. In my mind, I read this as Oro still loves his brother, and would like their relationship to go back to how it was in the past. This is further proven in how he verbally regards his brother.
He has strange notions of loyalty and honor. I'm sure he was difficult and unpleasant to train under.
At first, it sounds like Oro is being distasteful to Mato, but in reality, he's simply singling out qualities in his brother which he dislikes. Disliking Mato and disliking Mato's training style is a very significant distinction to make. While Oro attempts perseverance alone, I theorize Mato is polar opposite to this, and instead advocates teamwork best for success. Evidence to that? Mato's religious devotion to his master. We all know the story. Mato views he hasn't mastered the Nail Sage's teachings, so has decided to stay atop Holland Cliffs until he's honed the art of the nail. After completing your training with him, Mato feels a father-child bond with you, which we assume he also felt with his master. And as a team cherry on top, Mato is the only brother who, after shown Nailmasters' glory, asks the knight to send his gratitude to Sly. Out of all three brothers, Mato is the most likely to hold proud Sly's teachings, which brings us to this quote from Oro.
Those who do not share their strength will never learn. My master used to say that. Substitute Geo for strength and you'll have my own views on the matter.
Mato must have heard this from Sly as well, so I find it very likely he lives by that statement to this very day. No wonder Oro, who wishes nothing more than to prove himself without the help of others, would find Mato difficult and unpleasant to train under, and see his notions of loyalty and honor strange. All this tied together now paints a clear picture of both Mato and Oro's personalities, one that values a combined effort and one that values a singular effort, respectively. Oro's metaphorical path is pretty easy to see now, isn't it? Oro thinks it's his responsibility alone to take on life's problems, and in turn asks for as little help doing so. Considering how devoted Mato is to Sly's advocation for teamwork, I can see how going too far with lone wolfing it could lead to Mato having his honor offended, maybe even to the point of considering his brother an enemy. At first glance, I'd find this unlikely. A simple conversation could end any misconception between the two. But as shown, Oro's tsundere personality makes it difficult for him to convey emotions and thoughts correctly. If an argument happened between the two, Oro may have said horrible things he didn't actually mean, possibly leading to the brothers' present-day estrangement. Before continuing, I'd like to bring up the possibility these two paths work in tandem. If Oro's lone wolf mentality has control of his decisions in life, those decisions could have inadvertently hurt his brother. If this is true, then not specifically knowing a string of events isn't a problem anymore. His moral code is what leads us to the motivation for his actions up until this point. So then, why of all places did Oro choose to live in Kingdom's Edge? As you can see on screen, this triangle represents which brother knows where the other lives. Somehow, Oro knows where Mato lives, but by conversation with Mato, it's likely this knowledge doesn't go both ways. It's reasonable then that as the two split apart, Mato willingly made known to Oro his new home atop Howling Cliffs. Possible reasons for such I'll go into later, but that does lead me to wonder if mere coincidence placed both brothers on the opposite sides of Hollownest. I theorize Oro chose Kingdom's Edge as the farthest distance from Howling Cliffs. After acquiring Nailmasters' glory, Oro will tell you,
Perhaps by helping you along your path, I have redeemed myself, if only a little.
By helping others, Oro thinks he redeems himself. Only problem, he secludes himself from the world and shows disdain to anyone finding him. That's a bit of an oxymoron. Oro wants to redeem himself of his past actions, but will not voluntarily seek such? So what if he doesn't want to redeem himself? Oro is very stubborn both inside and out. Actually, Mato proves stubbornness runs in the family. I mean, if he believes success is best obtained through teamwork, why does he not ask Sly for help in his training? His shop is a 2-minute walk away. But back to what I was saying. Oro knows how to redeem himself, but purposely hinders himself from doing so, meaning his isolation may be an eternal punishment for his wrongdoings. But what if instead, or at the same time, Oro views his seclusion as a way to redeem himself? Maybe through seclusion, Oro feels he's somehow helping Mato. How, you ask? The answer may lie in what Oro owes Mato. If indeed Oro's isolation is only meant to act as punishment, we'll have reached a dead end in figuring out what Mato is owed. However, since Oro's secluding himself, and considering the fact Mato will not ever leave his sanctuary, the debt can never be paid. So if Oro thinks he's redeeming himself by never paying the debt, this singles out what's most likely owed: an apology or a duel. If Mato asked Oro for an apology, that would mean Oro actually misinterpreted their conversation. This is proven by Oro's difficulty in getting his true thoughts and feelings past his cold outer shell, which would have led to irrational decision making, such as thinking it's best to punish himself in Kingdom's Edge instead of facing his brother. Further proof can be seen from Mato's reaction to Oro's existence.
That nail art, the dash slash. Learned from my brother Oro, was it not? So he's still alive then? I still haven't forgotten what he owes me, and I never will. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't bother you with such things. I'm happy that you were able to train under another Nailmaster and grow stronger, my pupil.
If Mato wanted a fight to the death, you think his response to learning his enemy's existence wouldn't be as underwhelming, right? If Mato was so dedicated to having this debt paid, this reaction proves Mato has lost much interest in this brotherly conflict, further proving Oro misinterpreted the severity of the situation. However, as I said, another possibility exists. If Mato challenged Oro to a duel, maybe even to the death, then that's pretty difficult to misinterpret the stakes. Oro, who loves his brother and regrets hurting him, would obviously be against a duel and hurting Mato any further. To delay bloodshed between the two, he travels far away from Howling Cliffs, the specific place Mato told Oro he'd be. Maybe Mato views his training complete only after beating Oro in a duel. Or maybe Oro thinks allowing Mato to train will help the inevitable fight become evenly matched. If that's true, then Mato's dialogue about Oro shouldn't be interpreted as him having little interest in the conflict, but instead feeling his responsibility as master to the night takes priority over verbal bitterness towards his brother. This could explain why Oro dressed his training dummy in Nailmaster clothing to prepare for combat, meaning Oro is inadvertently, but purposely, helping Mato complete his training. Whatever the case, because Oro will never willingly seek out Mato, neither an apology will be given or a duel accepted, meaning the brothers are doomed to stay estranged forever. Throughout the events of Hollow Knight, you complete amazing feats no bug had ever prior, like tirelessly charting a dead kingdom with death always around the corner, or defeating not just one, but two insanely powerful godlike beings, all by yourself. So what's to say this little vessel, who benefited greatly from the Nailmasters training, couldn't repay the favor? Within the pantheon of the Master, the Knight fights Oro in one-to-one combat, and quite easily defeats him. However, unexpectedly, Mato appears from the sky to offer assistance, causing something to click within Oro's heart. Whether it be the lifetime spent in lonely contemplation, interrupted by the small vessel, or if having sense slapped into him just seconds ago, Oro finally realizes fighting life alone will not fix his problems, nor resolve the conflict with his brother. So naturally, without hesitation, Oro accepts Mato's help, and through combat, once and for all, redeems himself of all past wrongdoings. Finally, the two Nailmasters fight not as enemies, but as brothers.